A passionate educator, Bengu became a teacher in 1952 and founded the Dlangezwa High School near Mpangeni in 1969. In 1974, he completed a PhD in political sciences at the Graduate Institute of International Studies in Geneva. He returned to South Africa from exile in 1991 and became the Vice-Chancellor of Fort Hare University. He was appointed Minister of Education in 1994 in former President Nelson Mandela's cabinet. Bengu spoke to SABC News about his role in the first democratically elected cabinet.
We wanted to move into a system that would include all the citizens of the country. So the migration was really a migration of all the entities of education that were there. After all, we had 17 different education departments, and all of that was seen by us as something that had to be disbanded, and we had to look for a system that would start from scratch. But we began with two groups of people. A group that was privileged, having had education that was systemized, giving them all the privileges that they had. And then the bundle creation, which was rejected, and that had to be brought into one system that the country wanted, and that wasn't there. And so we had the discredited education, and with the education that was accepted and had to be thrown away, and these two systems had to be born and started afresh.
Bengu pursued a number of major policy reforms in the Department of Education. In 1997, he announced a revision of the national curriculum under the new Curriculum 2005. It was an outcome-based education system which was criticised by academics, teachers and parents. Bengu said the education system, 25 years into the democracy, had improved, but that more needed to be done to achieve greater success.
The key has been moved, but not fully. Education has made a great stride. We were tackling the issue of success. We're tackling the issue of opening up schools, opening up the road to free education, and that in a way has happened. But it has not happened fully. So the key has partly been moved, but it has not succeeded.
Bengu went into self-imposed exile with his young family to work for the Lutheran World Federation in Geneva in the late 1970s. His family says it was inspired by him and his values.
To try to emulate him, yes, in terms of our values, how we live our lives in this earth, and even inspired us in terms of education. Yeah. And to achieve, we all, in different ways, wherever we are, we try to do our best in whatever we do. And those principles, I think, we got from him. So in terms of his life, yes, it was not easy, as we worried for him and his safety, but at the same time, yes, and we separated him. And of course, having a father like that, it means that he was not all the time with us. In terms of time spent with us, it was not a lot. We spend more time with him now. It seems awkward. But during that time, it was not so much the time, but of course he gave us, the quality of the time. He guided us. He made sure all of us knew what we had to do. He gave us, before we would go to school, maybe at the university, he would sit with us and make sure that we understand what we need to do and what subjects and how we perform. So all that he did.
She says he's a provider. He was taking responsibility for his family. He gave his children education. He wanted all of them to have master's degrees. They all have, and even went beyond. I think he fulfilled his work as a provider, a man and a father. He liked education. Bengu will be laid to rest on Friday in Mtunzini on the KwaZulu-Natal North Coast. Renee Heine, SABC News, Durban.